Welcome to my channel, Purposeful Play, where I talk about all things early childhood education. I'm Danielle, and today is kind of a continuation from another video I did where I was decluttering all my teaching stuff. So this is kind of part 2. If you're interested in seeing what I'm getting rid of and what I've got and what I'm keeping, keep watching. Let's get started. I am still shocked at all of the things that I have. I cannot believe how much stuff I have. I'm kind of going through like math, literacy, loose parts, manipulatives kind of stuff right now. And trying to figure out what is worth donating and what's worth actually throwing out. I just found these laminated little number cards, and I would often just put these down on the table with some random stuff, and kids could sort by number. So if this was 5, they would put 5 items on the number 5. And I found these little red gems. I found gems like this were all like leaves, acorns, sort of a fall kind of things in them. And then I also found a bunch of erasers. I stopped getting these. These are actually the only 2 I have left because I found that the children loved counting and sorting with their own stuff. So I ended up, if you haven't watched my loose parts video, you can watch that one and find out how I actually get all my stuff. I call them junk manipulatives. But you know, I've got these like poker chips, and a student brought these in their math bag once. So we used these for sorting and counting. There were a bunch of different kinds of poker chips. Yeah, he thinks that he needs to be part of this video too. Even like these big hefty ones. Just a variety in there that the kids really like to use those for counting and sorting and stacking too. You could also use these to set up a tic-tac-toe game because there are multiple colors, so you could play a game of tic-tac-toe with those. I didn't have those magnetic fish, like those plastic ones you could get from teacher stores, but I did have these little ones that I made, and I just would put a paper clip on the end of them and stick those in like the sand table or the water table. They are laminated, so they would do okay. And then, you know, as they were pulling them out, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you got the number 13, that's great. And this is done in Sharpie. If you ever wanna know, you can actually erase Sharpie with a magic eraser. So it stays on there now, right? If you do it in Expo marker, then it'll just erase. The kids can go boop, boop, and it erases. But if you laminate them and then use Sharpie, then they actually will stay. That's my little tip for you. Oh, I'm kind of sad to let these go. These are little flies that I printed in. Actually, I think my own children helped me with these one day. They cut them out. I've had them for a long time, laminated them. And then I would just change what was on them. Right now, there's a bunch of numbers, but I've had like rhyming words on them, letters. And then we had fly swatters, and we would play, you know, a game of who can swat the fly the fastest. So one person, I would say, this is how we would start it with our small group. I would do it, say the number, and then the kids would try to find that. But then after, during choice time, the kids played it together. The children played it, and one person called the number or letter or rhyme, and then they would have to, the other friends would have to swat the stuff. See, I guess as you're watching this, you're kind of getting a few, you know, tips on how you can create your own materials when you're a little low on funds, because a lot of these things were rather inexpensive or free because I made them. Onto a little bin here that has a bunch of different shaped items. So a lot of these, again, came from students and their homes. Like we've got a little paper straw. This block came from somebody's home. Some of them were mine that I had. But we used to play I Spy with these items. And so they would have to, I would start off again in small groups teaching them how to play it. I Spy with My Little Eye, something that is shaped like a cube. Could be this, could be this. And then you can kind of narrow it down. Oh, no, it's I Spy with My Little Eye, something that is a cube shaped and yellow. So then they could find this one. So, you know, you could really have children who know those shapes, describe them when they're the ones who is saying, search for this. Or you can say, you know, maybe children are gonna use just colors, could be, you know, numbers of things. So yeah, it was a fun thing. And I just kept them in this little box so that when we played it, I didn't have to go searching for all of those things again. I have an obscene amount of these Sterilite bins now. This is one stack, and then I have another stack of ones that have like rounded corners that have different lids, but holy smokes, I spent a lot of money on containers. I found a pack of bicycle cards. Those are the good ones that really shuffle well. So I'm keeping those for sure. And also I found a bag of a lot of dice. How many dice does one teacher need? Oh, I made these little teeny tiny masks for our second step puppets. When we went back to school and we were having to wear masks, I made these for our puppets, and look, they're so cute. I forgot that I had those. One year we did the clothing study, and we had a parent volunteer come in and teach us how to use a sewing machine. I also had a sewing machine, so later on I brought my sewing machine into the classroom, because after the clothing study, we did a pet study, and the children wanted to start making things for the pets. So we had some leftover fabric from our clothing study, ended up making pillows and blankets for our pets, which I thought was such a great idea. And the children, you know, you'll notice as you're studying these topics, from one topic to the next, there is so much connection, and what they've learned from one study is so relative and related to the next one. Does anybody else have stuffed animals that go with books? I'm trying to decide, do I keep them or do I not keep them? What do you guys? I mean, I love the if you give a mouse a muffin, if you give a pig a pancake books, but do I need to keep them? I'll hang on to them until I get some responses in the comments. So you let me know if you think I need to keep them. Here's a piece of advice from me. Buy yourself a good quality electric pencil sharpener. I had this one for years. It never stopped working. The children loved it to see, because you could actually, in the bottom of it, you could see the shavings in there. But it wasn't too expensive and a great purchase. And I don't sharpen a lot of pencils, but I kind of feel like I need to keep this. Do you want to see how many bins I've gone through so far? So all of these are all the square, like that's the more pointy edged corners, and all of these, and these two that don't really stack well with the other ones. Oh my goodness. Just so you know, the Dollar Tree has some great chalk writing stuff. These are little crayons. They have some markers, but they work the best out of all the chalk writing things that I have found. Target Dollar Spot often has some really cool stuff for teachers at the beginning of the year. Actually, they've started to add things throughout the year that are great for teachers, but I bought these that came in packs, and look, they stack together this way. You can put them this way. You can stack them this way. But those were in the Dollar Spot. I think I bought a couple of boxes of those, and they are great. Fine motor, you know, thinking about balance and the physics of stacking things. So check out the Dollar Spot. Does anybody use Wiki sticks in their classroom? I'm gonna get rid of these because they're probably just coated in kid germs, but they're like waxy, almost strings that they can shape into like shapes, letters, numbers. pictures, and then they stick together. They also stick on a surface that you're working on. So those are fun. I don't remember where I got those, but I really like those. Of course, I like to put rocks in the sand table, but these that I made one summer. Again, if you're watching my videos, you know that I really enjoy making stuff, but these just were rocks that I got at the cottage, the beach at the cottage, and painted letters on them and made them all decorative. And you can put these out on a table and children can be playing with those. You know, they could put them in alphabetical order. They can do some matching of X and another X, which I don't know where it is, but you know, they could do some matching and lay it all out on a table or on the floor. And those ones, again, those ones I just made out of fabric. On our alphabet wall, I would have this was where we had all of them, so these were not all, these were just our blank ones. I would have a ring with little pieces of, this was just cut up index cards, and we would together during our large group, or really during any time, and children were learning new vocabulary words, we would write them on here and add a little picture if it was necessary, so that when children were doing any kind of work, they could take these little alphabet ring cards and take them to writing, or take them to blocks, or take them to dramatic play. And then that way they knew how to write those words. And I would also have children's names on those. And then they would all be hanging with our alphabet word wall. I think the final count for these small bins is 33. And I still have more. But you know what? I actually used these to put out on shelves as well. So, you know, I would keep all of the rocks in here, and then it would say, I would have a thing that would say rocks, and then also on the shelf it would say rocks with a picture. So, I mean, yes, I used them to store things, but I also took them out, took the lids off, and put them on the shelf for children to stay organized. I think I'm gonna be done for the day because I have some stuff I need to put away that I'm keeping. I think I'm gonna put all the Goodwill stuff in my car, ready to go. And I might need to call the neighbor to say, hey, come and check out what I've got. And if you want it, great. And if you don't, I'm going to donate it. Maybe with this video, I'm motivating you guys to go through your stuff and get rid of the stuff that you don't really need anymore. Make room for the stuff that is really worth keeping. I know when I packed up my classroom, I actually did go through all my stuff and say, nope, I don't need that, I don't want that. I did really pare down, and obviously I still have a lot of stuff. This is so weird to go through all of this and think that this is, you know, 9 years of materials of being a preschool teacher. I don't know how I feel about it. Do I feel happy? Do I feel sad? I'm not sure. Thanks for watching my declutter again, and let me know what your favorite thing was that I got rid of today or showed you. Thanks for watching, and have a happy day.